Hello and welcome to another episode of Rich as Fuck, Real as Fuck. Today, I want to talk to you about insane business advice that led me to my highest cash year ever in business. I am your host, Shalvika, and I am an identity and money coach for creatives and entrepreneurs and creative entrepreneurs. And my superpower is actually helping you switch your identities, switch the state that your mind is in, that your brain is in, so that you can grow faster, you can make more money, sign more clients, and have the impact that you have always wanted. And it's not going to be about strategy. I am not going to tell you about, not today at least, about sales calls, pricing strategies, sales strategies. We are not going to go there. We are going to today completely, absolutely focus on your mindset, on your brain, because rich as fuck starts in being real as fuck. It starts in being the identity of who you want to be. It starts with embodying all of the advice that you have heard, you've read, you've researched, and you have thought that, oh, if only I could do this, this is the time to actually do this. Okay, anyway, I have my notes here. And I am so excited to dive into this because these are some of my favorite things that I have actually incorporated in my business. Awesome. Here is advice number one. There are no fucking rules. What do I mean by that? Every creator, every person who starts a business, we always create these bunch of rules for ourselves, these constraints, these boxes in which we believe that we have to fit. For example, my money has to come only in a certain way. Like I can make money this month only through one-on-one clients or only through selling this piece of art. This much of amount of money has to come today. I'm not going to accept it if it comes 2 days later. I'm not going to accept it if it comes 3 days later. I am going to accept growth only in terms of audience growth. I am not willing to accept a growth in the amount of money that I'm bringing in. I'm going to sit and obsess about, oh, but my Instagram is not growing. It doesn't matter in reality if your Instagram is growing or not, if your bank account is growing. Do you get it? We make all of these rules and then we struggle to follow them, to fit our businesses into these rules. And then when they don't fit into these rules, we feel like we are failing as entrepreneurs. But you're actually not failing as entrepreneurs because the only things, the only criteria that you need to be focusing on to determine whether you are failing or not as an entrepreneur is, am I signing clients? Am I making money? Am I having the impact? Am I having the reach? Are people paying me in some way or the other? And I'm going to talk about this in a little bit. But there are no bloody rules. I have not significantly grown on Instagram. In fact, right now I'm actually trimming my audience because a lot of them are carried forward from a past life when I was a blogger and I used to talk about life resume. Anyway, but so my account is shrinking. So I haven't really grown in the last couple of years, but my business has actually quadrupled. I have grown my revenue 4 times, even though my audience has not grown. Because there are no fucking rules. I know someone, one of my coaches that I used to work with, had less than 5,000 followers and had a 30 crore business. On the other hand, I have also worked with a client who at that point had 87,000 followers and was not making any money. All of her money or earnings were actually barter trades. So she used to get things and she used to be able to go to experiences, which was great, but there was no money involved, right? So just because I have a big audience means I have a big business. Again, bullshit rule, right? So I want you to, at this point, sit down and think about what are all of these rules that you have made for yourself and your business, and what are you making them mean about you? What is it that you believe to be true about yourself and your business? And is that really the truth? Or is it just some weird rule that you have borrowed that just takes them on Instagram? I gotta grow. You don't. As an entrepreneur, what is your goal? Get crystal clear on that. And then whatever rules you make have to be rules that follow the nurturing of that goal. That's it. There are no rules. The only rules are what you create for yourself, because it's your business. It is your entire entity that you are birthing. And at this point, if you want to check out my video that I created on birthing your dream business through your identity, click the link here and you can watch that as well. Awesome. That brings me to advice number 2. A no now is not a no forever. It's always a maybe later. Okay. I have spoken to so many people. I have had consultation calls, I have had email exchanges, I have had conversations in DMs with people who did not sign up with me right away. But then they have come back to me. They have come back to me like maybe 2 years later. They have come back to me 1 year later. They've come back to me 6 months later, and they have worked with me in some capacity. Now, why does a no feel so significant to us? Because as a creator, a lot of times we believe that we are our businesses. We see ourselves reflected in what we are creating. But what you are creating is not you, it is very separate from who you are. And the thing is, even if people say no to work with you right now, or if people say no to buy from you or sign up for your services, just by the fact that they are in your realm, they are still paying you. Every single person who follows you on social media is paying you in their attention span. Every single person who has subscribed to your email list is paying you by exchanging their personal information, which is their email. Every single person who's watching this video, who's listening to the audio on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever, is paying me by giving me their attention span. Every single person in your realm is paying you. They may not be exchanging money for your services, but they are still paying you by some resource, because money is also a resource. And I want to create a separate episode on money. But you have to understand that a no right now is not a no forever, right? Uh, and I just want to kind of talk to you here a little bit about one of my clients who came to a call with me, and he said that, oh, I increased my prices and I pitched it to someone and they said it's out of their budget. So I don't think this new pricing is working. Right. So they said no because it was out of their budget. And I get it, like budget constraints for a company, very legit constraint. Here is the thing though, just because that one company said no to him, does it mean that his price is wrong? Of course not. He could have gone and talked to 10 other people. He could have researched what companies would be okay with the kind of budget that he wants to charge, or he could show up in a different way, in a way where it is very obvious that he charges a premium, so that he filters out the people that he works with from the get-go, right? These are just simple ways in which you can ensure that no is actually a no forever. One person might say no to you, two people might say no to you. Keep at it, keep going at it, because someone is going to say yes, which brings me to my third point, my third advice, insane business advice. The biggest skill that you need to be a successful entrepreneur is not just sales, not just marketing, it's not just content creation, it's not just creating valuable products. It is being resilient and tenacious, because being an entrepreneur, you're going to be exposed to so much rejection. You are going to be exposed to so much failure. You're going to launch things and you're going to fail. You are going to talk to people about something that you are releasing, and no one's going to show up or show any interest. You are going to have people sign up for a free session and not show up at the actual live thing. This happened with me. Oh my God, this reminds me, one of the most embarrassing. At that point, I felt embarrassing. I think now in hindsight, it was a massive lesson to make sure that my mic always worked. So I was hosting a free webinar kind of a thing. I don't even remember what it was for. And a bunch of people had signed up. And on the day of the webinar, most of those people actually reached out to me saying that, hey, so and so thing came up and we can't really make it. But we would love to watch the replay. And eventually it ended up happening that I went live, and there was not a single person in that room apart from me. So me being me, I was like, yeah, okay, people didn't show up. Of course, it pinched a little. I mean, yeah, of course. But then I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm gonna still record because I know what I have to deliver is bombast, and I know that I have messages from multiple people saying that we want to watch the replay, so I have to have a replay. So I sat and I recorded for 45 minutes without realizing that I was on fucking mute. I was recording this in Zoom or Teams or whatever like streaming platform I was using back then, and I was fucking muted. So I recorded for 45 minutes, and I didn't have anything to share with my people because I couldn't share a video of me just. So I had to sit down and I had to re-record it. What I'm trying to say is business is going to test you in so many ways. And each time that you fail, how fast you get back up. Like, of course, I could have been like, oh my God, I'm not going to do this. I could have sent them an email saying that, hey, sorry, I couldn't do this, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. People couldn't make it live. I'm going to do this again tomorrow. And the next day, when I showed up, a few people actually showed up. That was first. The second thing that I learned from this experience is now, whenever I hit record, I always do a mic test. Like even right now, just before starting this recording, the first thing that I did, I even have a sequence. I'm that weird. I even have a sequence. I actually go mic testing, 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 mic. This is something that I will do on my, whether I'm recording on my phone, whether I'm recording on my MacBook, if I'm recording on my iPad, it doesn't matter. I will always first hit record and go mic testing, 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 mic, because that's a lesson. So there is no failure. Every time you fail, every time you fall on your fucking face, there's something that you can learn, and there's something that you can do to improve yourself the next time you go to do it. And that is the biggest skill. Most people give up in the first 2 years, 3 years, because it just feels like I'm doing so much without hearing anything back. And that's going to happen. That's a part of the journey. You have to pay your dues. You have to do that. Right? So that is the biggest skill, your resilience and your tenacity. And the last piece of advice that I have for you is your past has absolutely no fucking bearing on what results you can create. I'm going to say that again. Your past has absolutely no bearing on what results you can create in your business. Maybe you released a product last year and no one bought it. Or maybe people bought it, but people didn't get the kind of results that they expected. Or say you're an artist and people bought a piece of your artwork and then they never really referred more people or got back to you for another piece of art. And that's okay. That is bound to happen because you knew at something, right? It's like expecting from yourself that I am going to wake up. I don't know why when I sit to record these videos, I just think of ultra marathoners. I don't know why that is a thing in my brain, but we're going there. You don't decide today like I'm going to be an ultra marathoner and then expect yourself to like run an 87-kilometer marathon tomorrow. You don't do that. You start small. You're going to probably start with 5-kilometer runs. Or if you're not used to running, you're probably going to start with like brisk walking. You're going to walk for 2 kilometers and then maybe jog for a half a kilometer. And that's how, and then you're going to go after it day by day by day. And that's how you're going to build your stamina, build your capacity, build your body, build your muscles, build that memory in your body, that stored memory in your body around what's the posture that I need to have when I run. How do I need to keep my toes? How do I need to have my knees? All of those things. That happens with repetition. You were not an ultra marathoner the first day you decided that you want to be. It's the same thing. Just because your past thing failed does not mean that that's going to happen tomorrow. Your past, whatever has happened in your past, it's just that. It's a story. It's something that happened. It is not a fact. It is not evidence of your future results. And this is why you have to learn to be delusional. Because, say, for example, I want 100 members inside the Creative as Fuck experience, which is my year-long experience for the creatives and entrepreneurs, right? Um, so I have never really had 100 people so far in that. Why? Because I just created it a couple of months ago. So, of course, I don't have it, which means that there is no evidence that proves that I could have 100 members in that. So, then my job is to train my brain to believe that 100 members inside is possible for me. And how is it possible for me? I'm going to start with the first 10. First 10 baby steps. Maybe not first 10, maybe first 10 feels overwhelming. Okay, I'm going to start with first 5. And that's how little by little you get to 100 people. But for that, I need to be delusional. I can't think about what my past has been. That is not how you build a kick ass, successful, sustainable business, right? And I have only like 4 points written here, which I've already talked, and I'm going to do a recap. But I'm just thinking, I feel like there is a bonus point that I have, right? And that bonus piece of advice rather is that if you're a creator, in all likelihood your product is you, right? uh, Even if you are someone who makes a physical product, say you are a sculptor, or you make pottery, right? You do have a physical product, but that physical product is a manifestation of who you are. It's a direct reflection of who you are. If you're a writer, it's a direct outlet of who you are. If you are a service provider like me, you're a coach like me, you are the product. And in and in these kind of businesses, because you are the product, because your product is a direct reflection of you, your relationship with yourself is the most important thing that you can work on. How much do I trust myself? How much do I keep my word that I make to myself? How much do I keep the promises that I make to myself? How much do I actually believe that what I say I can follow through? All of these things are actually driving your relationship with yourself, and your relationship with yourself is driving your enterprise, your product, because you are the product. You are a direct reflection of your product, right? That is a bonus advice that I have. Awesome. All right, I'm going to quickly do a recap. The 4 pieces of advice that I have written here. The first one is there are no fucking rules. You build your rules, and you build your rules because you know how to build your version of an aligned as fuck business, right? So there are no rules. The second is a no now is not a no always. It could just be a maybe later. What it really is talking about is just finding for yourself opportunities to actually go and convert those no's into a yes, right? The third is the most important skill that you need for growing your business is resilience and tenacity. It's just the ability to keep at it, even in the face of rejection, even in the face of failure, even in the face of falling on your face. The last one that I had is your past has no fucking bearing on what you can do and what you can create inside of your business. Your past is just a story. You get to choose what your identity gets to be here on out. Right. And the bonus advice that I had was, you, as a creator, your relationship with yourself is the most important one. So, how is it that you are actually treating yourself? And if you want to dive into that, I have a video that I recorded just last week that I'm going to put up here. But before I wrap up, I want to invite you into my free community inside of school. This is called the Creative as Fuck Collective. This is called the Creative AF Collective. And I am still building it out. You are the first people to find out about this. No one else knows about it. I'm going to put a link in the show notes. I'm going to put a link in the description, but I want you to come and join because I want you to actually make more and more money. I want you to be able to expand your impact, grow your bank balance, and actually love what you do every single day. That is all that I have for you today. I'm going to talk to you soon. Ciao.